today, and Mr. Chur is going to come forward and lead the presentation. We're very excited to provide County Council with an update on all the activities that the Land Trust has been involved in the last several months, and also to announce today the acquisition by Sussex County of over 300 acres that we plan to preserve and conserve in perpetuity and partner with members of the Land Trust as well as the Nanticoke Conservancy to manage those properties, which we will provide more details in the presentation. So with that, hand it over to Mr. Chura.
Very good.
Thank you, and thanks for being here.
You clean up well, Mr. Chura.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. President, council members, staff, good morning. We really do appreciate the opportunity to be before you again. And really on behalf of that, thank you is on behalf of myself and our entire board. And as Todd mentioned, we have with us, oh, there they are. They moved. Our board chair, Heidi Gilmore. Russ McCabe is here, and also recognize that Councilman Riley and Councilman Schaefer are also on our board. So we're pleased to be here. Connor Nally is going to help me assist walk through this presentation. We'll go ahead and get started, and I think you all have copies of that to take a look at. We want to cover three topics. We want to cover our recent fundraising. One of the things we talk to you all about on an ongoing basis is what is the trust doing in terms of its part in raising money for land acquisition. We wanted to go through that with you. Wanted to update you on our park and preserve development, and then to speak on land acquisitions, which we're very excited to be a part of. Since we last met, it's been a few years now, we've been busy raising funding from across a broad range of sources. Total funding for the Land Trust is almost at $4 million over the last few years. Individual donations are 1.347, as you see, business donations, and then nonprofit sector funding from a multitude of sources, and then public funding. These numbers in large part represent investments into land, some of which were previously settled with Nanticoke Crossing. There's another substantial amount of money that's down as a deposit on a project that we're working on, but that's available for acquisition, it's available for operations, it's available for development. Want to go through with you four of our properties, two on the east side of the county, Hudson Park and Hopkins Preserve, and then on the west side of the county, Nanticoke Crossing Park and Nickford Park. So we'll start with Hudson Park, and as you see in the picture there, you see Route 9 to your left. Hudson Park is to the right with our logo on it. It's a little over 30-acre parcel that is halfway between Georgetown and Lewis. And you can see just to the right of the road, the rail trail there. That was constructed by DelDOT last year. And if you all remember, that was something that the council pushed and nudged DelDOT to do as part of the acquisition, and we really appreciate that nudge. That's a beautiful little stretch of trail which will connect to, go ahead, as you see it here, that trail is running along the top of the parcel there. You see the black line coming down from that, which will connect to a parking lot. We also are anticipating, as this park develops, to have a single track trail, bike pedestrian trail, that'll come off the trail through the parcel and then back to the parking lot. You note, and this is a good graphic to show it, that light gray area. One of the things that we've been active across our properties to do is to work with the Department of Forestry, Division of Forestry, State Division, on reforestation. And we have 4.5 acres of reforestation in this project. Those were all planted earlier this year. Go ahead. So the project that we're actually about to start on, you see before you're here, it's our parking lot. We should be breaking ground later this month, early next month, getting going through our final phases of that. That will include a new entrance off of Cool Spring Road, a gravel parking lot, a small pergola. We'll have a sidewalk along that first section of parking, along with the trail itself leading to the bike trail. And then we're putting in our stormwater pond and our landscape berm. And I mentioned the reforestation that you see there. So that's about to start. It should be, we hope it will be done late summer, early fall of this year. Following that, our intent is to move forward with the second phase of the project. That will include the balance of the parking lot, installation of water lines for, it's a bathhouse, it's really just a bathroom facility that will have, moving forward, parking bumpers, and then additional sidewalk work. And our last phase of the project will then be to pave the entire area, finish our landscaping, put our bathrooms in, and we're exploring with some partners right now the potential for a playground at this site. And I would just reference that all of this work is being done with a variety of partners and funding sources. This is all slated to go. It's just a matter of doing it in phases. Moving now to the west side of the county, to Nanticoke Crossing. You see the Woodland Ferry there jutting out to the right into the Nanticoke. And you see Woodland Ferry Road kind of heading up and cutting through up to the top right corner of that slide. Nanticoke Crossing is a little over 40 acres. Just to the right, it is on the water to the right of the ferry crossing there. So we have waterfront on the Nanticoke and then 40 acres behind it. We've completed a Phase 1 master plan, and that we have easements on this, which include the Department of the Navy, and we have the Chesapeake Conservancy also holding an easement on this property. The back portion, the piece that's in aqua, that's a fully wooded area with the little yellow that's in there is a field that was is being restored. And then above that was an area that was formerly a mobile home community. All those were removed by the prior owner, and that's now really a grove of large trees. Just a beautiful area. Go ahead to the next slide. So our work now is we're finishing up the master plan. We want to revise what we did and finalize that. Once we complete that, we'll have a full budget for you to tell you what we're doing on that. This summer, we're active at the park. We're cleaning up we're cleaning up some of the safety concerns. There was an old dock and pilings in there that were unsafe. We're getting those removed and cleaned up. We're working on our tree canopy, and we're also starting on our meadow restoration. And again, as I mentioned before, we have a very developing and good relationship with the Department of Agriculture in terms of reforestation, and this will also benefit from those funds. This is Atlanta Road, again, western side of Sussex County. Atlanta Road, you see cutting through the parcel there in that the Ickford Park is a little over 50 acres, 56 acres. It's on the right side of the road here, and the red areas are field. You see the parcel to at the bottom there to the left. That is the Cannon Maston House, dating to 1735. There's been, if you've driven by that over the last several years, you've seen we've cleaned that up quite a bit. And then one of the major things that we did is the house that was in front of Cannon Maston House, which was built in the early, it was 1912 vintage, that was actually moved up to, and you see it up to the next, go up to the right there a little bit. And that affords us a really great opportunity to interpret two periods of agricultural history. We can talk about, the intent for the Ickford House is to talk about the 1930s, when electrification came in, and we were anticipating some outbuildings for that structure. And then obviously the Cannon Maston House, talking about 1700s and that period of history in Delaware, again with some outbuildings that will be included as part of our master plan. The work that we've been doing here recently, the house that was moved, the Litchford House, that was, we're active right now in rebuilding the porch. We've been very fortunate, and I want to thank Russ in particular for his work in tracking down members of the Williams family who were here last, along with the Litchfords, and really talking through what this property looked like. We're getting great photos, great oral histories on that, and that's going to give us a lot to interpret as we move forward. From those pictures, we were able to determine what the house looked like when it was built. We're moving it back in that direction. The front porch, you see, has been is reemerging. There were jalousie windows, and that was all enclosed. That's all been redone. We're now getting HVAC, electric, and plumbing in there, and we're hoping to have this finished this year. We'll see how far we can get, but we're getting the basic systems in right now. And this will serve, again, the intent is to have this for two things. We're looking at having using this for somebody to stay in to watch the property, but also to interpret the 1930s. Go ahead. Cannon Maston House, 1735. We're going to be starting this year on redoing the foundation and redoing the roof on the structure. So after a long, long period of time, it's been 15 years, we're finally getting back to restore this house. So we're excited to really start that work. We're also looking for tax credits. We've made the applications, so we can work on that.
I think was Russ McCabe here when they built that?
You seem to know everybody.
Just a little after my time.
Hopkins Preserve, this was a project that, and a parcel that you all purchased back in October. We were very excited for the opening of that. This was the master plan that was presented at that time. Before you go to the next slide, I want to look at the numbers there. And if you look at number 1, again, that's where the rail trail is. It runs along, in this case, the bottom of that graphic. And if you keep in mind 1, 3, and then 5 and 6, and everything to the right of that, go ahead to the next slide, as that will be the first phase of the project that we'll be doing. These are our construction plans. We've submitted the DelDOT SCD. We're moving forward with all of our regulatory permits with the idea of starting our capital improvements for this in the fall. And the numbers here, just kind of briefly to talk through the work that will be done, the entrance, the stormwater, grading, starting the rail trail, our parking lot, the plantings, and the reforestation. I should say that this is being done in partnership with the Masonic Lodge, who is next door to this parcel. As you all remember, Walt Hopkins was very generous to the county in terms of the price for the property, and he also donated land adjacent for the Masonic Lodge. So we're partnering with them with a common entrance and other infrastructure. We're looking to start, as I mentioned, in the fall, and the estimated cost of that is a little over $1 million. Following that, the next two phases here, going into 2025, we'll be completing the trail system that you saw on that map briefly. A lot of restoration here. Again, we're taking a cornfield and meadow that will be turned into meadow management and reforestation. So we're really making a preserve out of this parcel, and that was something that Walt Hopkins felt very strongly about. So we're happy to be working with him on that. And then ultimately, the third phase will come in, putting in trail amenities, completing our plannings. We expect everything to be finished by the summer of 2025. Moving on now to proposed acquisitions. There are two properties which Council is very familiar with. We've had discussions and we're moving through the details of this. Wanted to present some of the basics today. One is called the Forest of the Broad Kill Preserve, and again, that's Russ. There's a history to that name that Russ can tell you. And we thought it sounded good. So and it was very fitting for the property. So that's one preserve, and then there's the Wright property. Forest of the Broad Kill is a compilation of three properties. It's just a little under 300 acres. It borders Ingram Branch, and that's a branch that has a lot of rare habitat, natural and cultural resources. And it's a combination of mature woods, forest that has been harvested for timber, and then open field. And you'll see some pictures in a second. It is located on both, it adjoins both Shingle Point Road and Gravel Hill Roads. It's just about 4 miles away from Milton. The best way to explain this is to look at the center picture first. That is the Speakman property. It's a little over 31 acres. To the right of that border, that's Route 30. That's Gravel Hill Road. And then Shingle Point Road kind of meanders down to the left. If you look to the slide to the right at the top, that's the first piece of the owners of coffins. That's that piece. The bottom piece then connects to that. So all these three pieces meld together as an assemblage of property that will be a preserve of just under 300 acres. And that's significant from, I think, in this county in terms of landmass. A lot of the parcels that I know you all have been involved with, we've been involved with, it's tough to buy land because it's so expensive. But getting 300 acres in this portion of the county, I think, is a real tribute to your leadership in particular. Some good pictures here. These are taken back in February, so they're not the prettiest of pictures, but it does give you a sense of the trail systems. And I failed to mention there are also existing trails within this property that will lend itself very easily to conversion into walking and hiking trails and biking trails. These are pictures of Ingham Branch, just beautiful. High banks dropping down into a stream, mature woods, oak, beech, ash, just lovely. Some other pictures of the trails here. Our acquisition timeline for the properties are noted here. The total purchase of this is $1.85 million with closings for, as noted. The intent here is to settle these in late June. I know you all are working on that timeline. So the vision here, the county, obviously the county is the owner of the property. Similar to Hopkins, the land trust would hold the easement on the property. That's the vision, and have responsibility for development of public access and ongoing maintenance. As part of this, in our projects, we set aside money for operations in a five-year plan. The vision, again, is to restore the native ecosystem, the fields, and the forest. We are actively working with both state and federal officials on potential grants for this, and are very excited about the opportunities there. The intent is to build a small trailhead parking lot, similar to like the Nature Conservancy has at Ponders. You see some small parking lots like that, but this is very much a park and walk and enjoy nature. The opportunities to hike and bike will be plentiful, so something we're very excited to be a part of. Moving now to western Sussex County again, that is the Nanticoke River. This is the Ruth Harbor development. Just above this is Middleford Road. To the right, you see Old Meadow Road. This is just a beautiful bend in the Nanticoke here as it makes its way out. The right property is an assemblage, actually, of 3 wooded parcels. Go ahead. All those are contiguous, just high banks, fully wooded, just a beautiful area. And these are some photos from the opposite bank looking at the property. The purchase price of this is $460,000. Again, the county would have fee simple ownership of this property. And in this case, the partner would be the Nanticoke Conservancy. They will hold the conservation easement, and they will be responsible for long-term maintenance. And I believe Steve Cooper and Marlene have already introduced themselves, and we're happy they're here. And again, all of us are happy to partner with the county on this. So that's our presentation. I think I didn't take 30, but probably over 10. But I do wanted to say one last thing, and I want to thank and really commend this council for all of your support in open space preservation. You guys have been just terrific partners. We've got a lot done, and a lot has happened in a short period of time. A lot of good things are going on. We're really pleased to be a partner with you guys, and thank you for all the work that you've done, and look forward to continuing to do this. Thank you.
Mr. Riley.
Well, I want to commend the board at the Land Trust, and working with you has been a pleasure. We have an active board, a lot of talent on the board. People bring different skills and backgrounds, but it's working, and I'm really pleased with the progress that we've made. The old mantra that George Cole used to say, public money, public access, and we're honoring that. And it'll be primarily passive access, but nevertheless, opportunities to preserve open space. And I firmly believe 20 years from now, we'll be very happy that all of this land was set aside for future generations. And probably important to note too that while this is an amazing list of properties and accomplishments, it's not exhaustive as far as all the properties that the county has purchased. We've had properties on Piney Neck, 2 purchases on Route 24, and west of Millsboro, and so we're actively preserving land throughout the county. But the land trust's role in this is just irreplaceable, and I want to thank all of you for everything you do.
Thank you. Very kind.
Comments from council? On behalf of council, thank you very much for all you do. We appreciate working with you. Obviously, there's more land than we've got money, but we will help in the process all we can. It's good to see people here, Mr. Conservancy back here, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Mervine, and good to see Mrs. Wright in the chamber. Welcome to the chamber, ma'am. Because we all realize it takes willing landowners to help this work too. So I thank everybody for all this, and we will continue forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.